Hello everyone and welcome to my practice stream, doing a bit of casting. I might be playing with this Fractis team tomorrow, but let's just have a look and see what's going on. An innocent citizen, I think he's the captain of the team, rocking the void. He's got a witch doctor and a lichen, played by Gilkin. Huxley on a razor at mid by the looks of them, coming up against Simon from SaD on a Tinker, taking the mid lane Tinker. There's an off lane Bat Rider for SaD, SaD. We've also got Disruptor in the safe lane with a Ruby Tiny farming up and a support Wraith King up against an offlane Slack. So we've got some pretty interesting lanes here, some good heroes. We've also got Razor in there, who I'm not a big fan of, but yeah, you know. Looks like we could have a fair bit going on today. It looks like Tiny is gathering the farm. And he's top of the last set list at the moment. We might have some action going on top. Just Witch Doctor supporting the Void, trying to zone out the Bat Rider, who's just throwing some return harass on him, punishing him for his insolence. Gilkin on the Twin-Headed Dragon. Jakiro is pulling the lane, getting a bit of experience and farm from there. The SaD Simon seems to be going for a bottle rush build in mid versus double slippers from Huxley. Imagine he's just gonna... How's he building this? He's not going unstable current, so he's not going for a speedy sort of build immediately. He just wants to get some... Imagine he wants to drain the damage with the static link to try and prevent any last hitting from Simon on the Tinker, and getting the nuke high with the placement field.
That's a first blood.
And I've just missed. First blood. That's Jakiro with first point in
everything.
Ice Blast, Ice Wall. I imagine he's put his first point in there. Sorry. I mentioned that was his first showing in the lane. Slugs throwing some harass out. He's going to take a little bit of damage here. He could be in trouble. It's been glimpsed back.
Radiant's top tower's in bad shape.
One more hit. Two hits. He's going to escape narrowly with his life. SaD Simon's taking the entrance with his much of the machines, which does seem to be what he's prioritizing his points into. What do we see? Is there much in the way of state jungles for the Tinker? No, there is not. Just the ancients. Bat Rider, I think he'd like to get a little way, the wave a little bit further away from this tower so he can start roaming into the jungle. I think that's where you'd prefer to be a dire Bat Rider offlane. Let's see, Fractis have placed a ward here. It's very fresh. It's probably just gone down to try and stop the stacking of the ancients, and I think it probably will from there. Razor's now starting to dominate the mid lane farm. He's got 16 and 8, 17, 18, 13. That's a lot of last hits denied from this poor Tinker. Sitting on 5 last hits, 5 and 0. See what happens when he approaches to try and get some last hits. He's picked one up, he's not going to be harassed for it.
Twice struck.
Disruptor denying the rune from the Razor. Who has this bottle? He would have liked to use it. He's going to try and punish him for it. And a defensive disruption field. Tinker doing what he can. 1 point in laser. It's a wonder he hasn't used it. This disruption pulls Razor out of line, but I think Simon's in a fair whack of trouble here. They've got vision of him all the way up here, so it wouldn't be surprising to see him be pursued, but no. This is going to escape with his life. They respect the nuke of the Tinker. Okay, so he's got 1 point in laser, 2 in rockets, 2 in much of the machine, so it's a fairly mixed build here. Probably saw the fight and decided to put some skills in a nuke. All the while we see phase boots have come up on the Tiny, and I imagine he's going for his drums next. where we see very little in the way of last hits going towards Slark. It's fair enough, it's an offlane Slark, it's not an easy thing to get, not an easy spot to get points. Innocent Citizen, he has got himself a 4-man shield and some boots, and 1500 gold. I'd probably guess a Midas. Though his kill potential will skyrocket if he decides to spend that on damage items. He's got 3 points in the bash. He obviously hasn't felt very threatened here at all. Next point should go on to Chrono, which should be less than a minute away. Bottom we see Slight trying to pick a time. He's not quite level 6, he's just trying to soak up experience to get to that point where he can start regening. It's very buggy with this set. Very interesting. Disruptor just hanging around. Imagine he wants to be stacking the ancients when he can, but just really keeping an eye on his Tinker, making sure he can get the farm he needs to start snowballing out of control later game. Wraith King's headed into the jungle and is rotating towards the lane. Sorry about my cam work, it's a wee bit shoddy. Tiny's just really free farming here, taking advantage of the fact that Slight's not harassing. But we see a rotation from Witch Doctor, he will have been revealed just now. Absolutely envision. Void's got his minus up and 285 gold in the back pocket. Tinker 2 points in March, he's gone for his rearm now. Personally, I'm one to hold off on the rearm until I've got something that I think is worth rearming, and I've just missed a kill on the Jakiro. So SaD bring themselves onto the board. It sounds like I had quite a lot to do with the little stun combo they've got there with the Wraith King and the Tiny. Jakiro shrugs himself off, heads back to lane with his wards. Not sure whether he spent that money before the death, but oh, do we see a bait? No, we don't. We just see people hiding in the trees and deciding not to anymore. Tinker throwing the march down, getting those ancients going through. He's still a long way off. He never went his bottle. He just went boots in the end. No, he did get his bottle. It's just on the courier, doesn't need it just yet. Razor's sitting and waiting. Gilkin getting some wards in spot. And just dominating there, 39 and 19. Versus the, we're up to now, 19 and 1 on Simon. A lot of that'll be ancients now. Getting himself into the game that way. He's now got 4 points in March and would be able to effectively farm this jungle 3 camps at once if he can find a time to get away. It'd be nice if Wraith King was stacking the camps for him, but it looks like he's still trying to milk them from experience. Witch Doctor will go down, but it will ensure the death. And Slark enjoying this setback. He'll still run.
Radiant's top tower's hurting.
Pursuing, trying to get some work done here. Tequila Sunrise really wants Gilkin. 3 stacks.
Missing bottom.
Figure come under the cover of Faces Void and be
Radiant's top tower's hurting.
shunned to the background. Jakiro's BS skills. Look like fire ticking away at the tower. Old mate on the Tiny, pushing up towards the tower, trying to get a little something going that way. All the action seems to be here around the ancient stack.
Dire's bottom tower's getting the business.
There's a regen room being ignored by the Dire team, who have all gathered here. Looks like they just want to make use of this ancient state, and they're going to. Faces Forward like a lot more out of this, but only 1 point in the heal from the Witch
Dire
Doctor.
just couldn't save that bottom tower.
Tries to trap them in, but Disruptor doing everything he can to save the stack. Simon brings in the March of the Machines, and Dire retreat. Just clean up a few of the last hits. So, all in all, it didn't turn out too badly for the Radiant side. Radiant forcing a TP or two from Slight, a TP from Slight to defend his tier 2. Blink Dagger on the Tiny. It's wrong about the drums, he's just gonna go blink and slamming. Mana boots are up on Fagatron. I'm not quite sure how he wants his name said. Tequila Sunrise rotating in just to pick up a bit of experience. He'll be very disappointed with his farm so far though. We're 11 minutes in and he's still over 1,000 gold away from his Blink Dagger. He really needs to rotate into a jungle. Preferably the Dire jungle, if he can do so safely, and start picking up some jungle creeps. But as we see, Innocent Citizen, he's now picking that up himself. He's got a Mithril Hammer, which I imagine is going to go into a Maelstrom. Quite often forget about that particular item building into Maelstrom. I immediately think BKB, or I immediately think Desolator, but no, it'll be a Maelstrom for sure. Must be. That attack damage, the attack speed increase is really helpful on Faces Forward. Being helped out farming the jungle there. And a rotation to bottom from the gym experience.
Radiant's mid tower could use a hand.
Seem they were just a bit worried about the Slack, who is now gone hunting a Tinker. And decides they either know where he is. He knows they know where he is. He knows the gig's up, and he's moving on. Boots of travel up on the Tinker. The placement field's doing nothing but harass in this game. He's now got plenty of points up in unstable current. And phase boots on him. I'm not sure what he's building towards, whether it be mech or... doesn't seem to be going for mech. I assume Gilcon will be heading towards Tranquil Boots by the looks of things. I really like his builds up now. Razor's rotated to bottom just to chase him away again with his placement field. Not getting a lot of work done with it. Tiny, for having a Blink Dagger, hasn't done much with it yet. He's built himself an Ogre Club. Casual Ogre Club. Probably going to build towards his Aghanim Scepter now. But he's just free farming. He's enjoying it. He's filling his pockets, but just getting severely outfarmed by the Innocent Citizen now, who has rotated into the jungle. He has his Midas and Maelstrom, and is just going to start balling out of control if this goes on much longer in this current way. Death Ward goes down by the Witch Doctor, and it will bring down, will lead to, did Razor get him? Razor finished him off with his ulti. Good chase.
Radiant's mid tower's in trouble.
Tower goes down, Razor's balls deep. He's hunting, he knows the bats around here somewhere, but Watch should just block the stack. Fagatron. It's got to be Fagatron. It can only be what it is. It's quite interesting going for a Culling Blade as a support, but it's just the way things go sometimes. Simon's starting to get his move on around the map.
Best do something about that bottom tower.
He's got his core farming items on a Tinker. He's got his soul ring, he's got his bottle, he's got boots of travel. Tiny's moved into the jungle. Probably they should be swapping positions.
Dyer's mid tower's having technical
But
difficulties.
Simon's just going to clean up some stakes anyway. So just switch over to net worth for a second. And we'll see Innocent Citizen. The Death Ward's down, which will clean up. Just a solo hero ulti. Wraith King, his ulti has been popped recently. Let me just spread this out. 260 seconds. Yeah, no, it's not all that recent. Sorry, I missed that.
Dyer's bottom tower's getting the business.
Where are we at with Slag? He's got Boo. He's got an Orb of Venom. He's got Power Treads. Looks like he's building a BKB. That would make no sense. I think I'm just going to push out lanes. And we'll run into trouble immediately.
Somebody's cooking.
Which shot replaced with that. Managed to survive. It seems that things are definitely in favour of Fractis here. As you see in the graphs, everything's moving in their favour steadily. Smuggler hunting out, and he has found the Tiny who will blink away defensively. He's got himself into a world of trouble here. The disruption field just slightly off the mark. Razor's picking up where they left off, absorbing damage. I think Melaluk's going to finish him off. 2 more ticks. There he goes.
How about that?
There's someone coming in and seeing what he can do from behind.
4 in a row.
I'm not quite sure what Disruptor was doing there. Not a good spot to be. Probably somewhere I'd be in his defense. Not saying I'm good. Just saying it's easy to see when it's not you doing it. So I'm trying to push out the lanes. Trying to force the Void out of there, who will rotate back to his own jungle, I imagine. He's finished his BKB, that's where he was building. He'll be feeling quite confident that he can take out the Tinker now.
Right now.
It's a handy item to have up your sleeve up against the Disruptor and a Tinker. In fact, definitely a BKB game. It's Tinker rotating to bottom lane, just defensive.
Radiant's top tower's in bad shape. Dyer's mid tower could use a little help.
Chasing Void out again.
Dyer's mid tower
Who will just get out. So switch to gold per minute, and we see at 571 Innocent Citizen. Citizens just rocking it this early in the game. To have that much farm is fairly substantial. Tinker would really like to get his back up there, but it's just the way it is. He will accelerate it, as mentioned, as time goes on from here. He very rough start up against Razor. Smoked up. That's a good point, actually. If you're just casting spells, smoke's quite a handy thing for old Tinker. Because he doesn't last hit, so he's not going to break it unless he runs into a hero. It's not going to show up on the map. It's genius. I've never seen it. I imagine it's fairly common, but yeah, no, I love it. Once again, we see Fractis making use of the stacks of Ancients that Radiant have been piling up. We've got Gilcon preparing to stack their Ancients once more for the Void, whose next item appears to be a Helmet of the Dominator. Just getting some lifesteal. He's opted not to go for the Mask of Madness. He's just not interested. But he will definitely have some sustain in the jungle. And perhaps an aura, depending how he likes to. A narrow escape there from the Tinker. Saw Slark and realised that Slark doesn't have a stun. Doesn't have any way to break the TP, which is the one thing you can rely on a Tinker to do. He's now got his Blink Dagger up, so he can farm a lot more safely. Which should make him pleased. He hasn't really died in his rotations, but he'll be very pleased with the way they're going. I imagine Day going to be his next item. He's gone to bottom lane, they're searching for him. He'll be able to just TP out of this if he's got the mana for it. Nothing to lock him down.
5 in a row.
No, there was. Of course, there was the Witch
There
Doctor.
goes Radiant's bottom tower.
And just the extreme burst damage from a Razor. They found him, they punished him. Get out of these lanes, we're pushing them. Tiny
Radiant's top towers.
is about 300 gold away from his Aghanim Scepter, which will accelerate his farm substantially.
Difficulties.
He is the highest on the Radiant side, and it's sort of their hope at the moment for late mid.
Radiant swooped in and
But
disowned
Tinker
the top
will be
tower.
exactly what they need to pick up the slack when they get into late game. Batrider just trying to make himself known on the map. Can he? Does not.
Oh, look at it go.
He does break the teleport. Is he not going to? Just lasso him, mate. And a stun expended from Wraith King. He just wanted him dead. He's sick of seeing him run, but one lasso would have done it. But I suppose he wants to keep it on cooldown where he can. But just not necessary at this point. He needs to secure kills. He needs to make sure that his team's on the map, because at the moment it's a slow start. Simon sends in the march, and I'll just sit here doing it. 2. Razor, oh, he's got his mech, he's got negatives. We've got Chrono expended for 2 kills. Just 1 kill. They're going to stick around, there's no counter initiation on the back of the. And Wraith King will go down.
Somebody's on a roll. 2 down.
And
Dire's top tower's getting
Innocent
beat
Citizen
down.
on Void is just out of
Radiant's
control now.
mid-tower's coming apart.
He's got a Hyperstone now, which I imagine will be a.
Radiant's mid tower.
There we are.
Radiant's mid tower ain't
I
doing
think
so
the game's
good.
over. It's not easy to push against the Tinker, but he just. It's not very easy to keep a Void out. Not when he's got this much farm this early in the game against what you've got of your team. Aghanim Scepter is up, and that looks badass. Tony, please. The thing is, he's farming the same spot as his Tinker. They're sharing farm when it really needs to be one or the other.
The Dire took down old Roche.
We see Roshan go down and go the way of Faceless Void. More money in his pocket. And he's got minus on cooldown, but it doesn't really matter. Mix up on the Wraith King. Bit of armor, bit of passive healing, bit of an active heal. Not a lot of farm on the Jakiro, but yeah, he's working on it. Tinker's going to pop in and see if he can net a kill, but is that what he's here for? Something's just appeared for the Jakiro. It looks like a Void Stone. Now, I would wager that the Tinker could actually get a kill on the Jakiro here. Surely he knows he's there. He's expending armor on creeps, mana on creeps.
Trouble brewing at Radiant's bottom tower.
A little defense mounting up here. We've got a Blinken from the Tiny, finally using it. We'll see a Chrono, we'll see Void. Oh, they're going to spread now. They're in all sorts of trouble. Here's the Chrono. He only manages to get one, but he'll ignore him and just clean up. Oh, Citizen, please. Oh my goodness. He is just out of control now.
7 in a row.
Team wiping, and that has to be GG. The power of that Void. When he only chronos one and kills the rest of the team anyway. I think it's over, guys. No apologies. Fractis have taken you to school.
Trouble brewing at Radiant's bottom tower.
Creeps coming to help out. No catapult, does not matter.
Radiant's bottom tower seen better days.
It's almost 200 damage a hit. In fact, that is over 200 damage a hit from an innocent citizen at the moment.
Radiant's bottom tower's done.
And in the meanwhile, Gilcon pushing top with that passive skill of his. It's not passive, liquid fire, but it's just it's free. Costs no mana. He'll probably take a Raxin while this fight's going on.
How about that?
No deaths, just trying to chase them out. It's like just being annoying, really. Hurley could be in. He's down. This is what they need. Toss him back. And they managed to finish up the slight. All the while, there's very little health left on that tower. Gilkin throws out one more. And Simon's on the move now with his Dagon up. This is where the game could start getting quite interesting. Dagon's up, Simon's starting to get aggressive, and they've lost one melee Rax. They'd like to have it still standing, obviously. They did try to defend, but yeah, it's really going to be on the back of Simon now. He's starting to come online, and he's really going to make it count. Just did not get a kill on Innocent Citizen. He's now got Daedalus. He didn't even have a part for it before, and he's just finished it after those team fights. It's out of control. It's just such a... He's over doubled the 2 carries for Radiant. And it's not like Void falls off. Ever, really. But I tend to think Simon on the Tinker. Tinker's probably the hardest carry in the game. Just pure magic damage. That's just so extreme. He can... I'm sure you all saw the game where Excalibur played for the old Fnatic team at the Beyond the Summit Cup and just tore DK a new one on his Tinker carry. He just, when he's online, he's got Blink, when he's got E-Blade, he's got Dagon 5, things get ridiculous. It's just such a heavy nuker, and it doesn't fall off when they've been E-bladed. It's almost impossible to just do anything about it. You need to anticipate it, you need to BKB, and yeah, force stuff away. I'm not quite sure how you escape it. You need to silence that Tinker. And they can only really do it with a chrono, which will get him, provided he has a knee bladed. So if he does, then you'll not be happy. Mind you, if anyone can time it right, I would wager it's a Fractis, innocent citizen. I don't think he's really going to let Tinker into the game properly. We see Refresher Orb come up on Razor, that's Agnum's Refresher and a mech. Phase Boots, he can run in and you won't believe how quickly he can tear a tower down with double ulti. We see a smoke movement into the jungle from SaD. If they can get a jump on the void, perhaps. I'm not sure whether they've read the situation. They're sticking us for practice. They found someone. They found Slack. The chrono comes out. Slack falls. But 2 kills, 3 kills. And it's 2 kills on the Wrath King. Godlike streak up on. Godlike streak up on an innocent citizen. It'll feel good. Very tough to fight into a void that is just that farmed. In the end, it was 4 kills for the one. They found the Slack, they got him, and were severely punished for their efforts. No one likes fighting into a much of the machine, but with the Witch Doctor heal, it's just why not?
Radiant's mid tower's getting banged up.
Oh, Innocent's just gonna tear the top tower. They've got creeps pushing in bottom. They've got Innocent Citizen pushing top racks, which they have to start reacting to. Tiny's found him, you time walk away, and Ice Wall, he's quite happy. There's no reason to worry. Is that 2 ultis? That's 2 ultis. He's gonna fall for his efforts, but certainly dealt some damage in the meantime. SaD are holding fast, but they are getting kills in return. But Innocent Citizens come in with
3 down.
And the GG calls come out. With the ease of one hero tearing their team's pieces.
The Radiant's top rags is gone now.
They've seen the light and they just know there's nothing more they can do. They've lost 2 lanes of racks and they've called it. We'll see the fountain explode any second now. And congratulations to Fractis. Quite a big victory. Thanks for watching. I'm Gruck. You've been listening to me practicing. You'll have a great night.